Hi, my name's Erica, and today I'll be taking you through a quick little backbend warm-up that you can do before any backbending class. So you're going to need your 2 blocks that you can grab at class at any studio at Yoga Lab, and we're going to set them up into a T shape. So it's like this. So the top of the T is for your head, and the bottom of the T is for the space between your shoulder blades. So you set up the blocks like so, and they don't touch, and you want to hold the block that's just directly behind you and put it into place, and then just adjust accordingly so it feels somewhat comfortable. And then the other block is for just the back of your head. And you can let your soles of the feet come together, open the knees, and just let the arms open out to the sides. And as you're doing this, you might initially feel uncomfortable, especially if you haven't done this before. So the best thing to do is just to breathe through it. And the more you use your breath, the more your exhale will help you to deflate over the blocks. So let's take a deep breath in and deep breath out. And just allow your sternum to feel lifted from behind, from the block, and your ribs to fall from the sides. You can let your inner thighs relax, your stomach to relax. Another option, if you would like to up the ante, is to change the height of the blocks. So a different height that you can do is to just use one block and have it either at the second height or the top height. So let's say you want to use the top height. And you hold the block and you place it towards like the mid upper back, somewhere like behind the shoulder blades, and then lay over. And you might need to have your knees bent so you can kind of brace yourself into place, and then just start looking back. And again, this might feel uncomfortable initially, especially if you're not used to letting your throat open like so. So if that's the case, just interlace your fingers behind your head, let your elbows open, and you might get a couple of cracks to the upper back. I always do. For me, that always feels great. Another hand position you can do is to hold onto opposite elbows behind your head and rest your head on your forearms. That really helps you to get into the shoulders. And again, just use your breath, especially the exhalations, to allow your body to feel like it's melting over the blocks. And one last variation is to reach your arms overhead and see if your thumbs maybe can touch the floor. For me, I always feel like if I'm using the top height of the block and my hands can touch the floor overhead, I feel like I'm pretty good to go. I'm good for my backbending class. To come out, you place your hands just beside your hips. First lift your head and then push yourself off. So that's for your upper back. And for your throat, which is an essential part of your backbend to make everything feel overall more comfortable. So you come onto your hands on your knees and place your hands onto the opposite shoulder, so you make a crisscross shape with your forearms. And you want to walk the elbows forward and then shift back to bring your chin onto the cross of your forearms. And that will just gently stretch open your throat. So again, you use the breath to deepen and sink down. Once you've done that for a few breaths, you might feel like you want to open up the shoulders even more. So you can come into an extended puppy, so you can have your hands at shoulder distance and drop the chest down as you look forward. If this is too much, you just place your forehead onto the floor, and over time, the chest and the shoulders will feel open enough to bring the chest and throat down. This is one of my favorites, especially because my shoulders always feel particularly really tight and backbending, and this little pre-warm-up really helps. And once you've done that, you can come into a Sphinx pose. So you slide forward and your chest will be off the floor, the elbows underneath your shoulders, and you point your toes behind you. And I like to do this pose just to kind of let my lower back feel really long and grounded, and use this pose to open up the chest. So I'm thinking of squeezing my shoulder blades together and puffing my chest forward, trying to keep my neck long and the shoulders away from the ears. And to stretch open to the chest, we can lay down flat onto the floor and stretch your right arm to the right side. So if you think of like north, south, east, west, stretch your right arm east. Place your left hand beside your chest, bend the left knee, and place your left foot east. So you're looking west. And you're letting the whole right side of your body roll onto the mat so that the left side of your body is pointing up to the ceiling. And of course, always do both sides. And then to go even deeper into the chest, again, you stretch your right arm east and then bend the elbow. So elbow is pointing east and fingers are pointing north, so you have like a cactus arm. Left hand beside your chest, and you bend the left knee, flip over, and again look west. You won't be able to flip over as much just because of the positioning of your arm, but this one gets really deep into the side of your chest and into your pec muscles. And then the other side. Good. And then finally, I like to stretch the top of my thighs, so my quads. So here we can bring your right foot forward into a lizard pose. And you can just stay here and focus on letting your hips drop. Or to take it a little further, keep the left hand down and reach the right arm back. Bend the back knee, catch your foot, and then pull your foot to the same butt cheek. So if I'm holding my left foot, I want my foot to go to the left butt cheek. And that, I already really feel it in the top of my thigh up to the hip bone. Good, and then doing both sides, so just switch your legs. And then once you kind of feel like all of those parts feel particularly open, and if you still have some spare time, maybe come into a gentle cobra where your hands are a little bit more forward, the elbows are slightly bent, maybe the feet a little wider. And this is just nice to get your spine used to bending. And then hopefully at this point your teacher has come into class and you're ready to begin your back bending session.